The Trace of the White Rider. After defeating the two giant monsters, the sun was setting. Gemma, James, and Sam went back to the city. When they arrived at the city, the last few rays of the sun were shining as darkness set in. Under the twilight-colored sky, they could see the silent, deserted streets, giving the city a creepy vibe. The streets seemed dead, with no signs of any humans. The shops and stores were all closed. The three of them were the only ones moving on the street. The sound of marching caught them suddenly. It sounded like hundreds of horses were trotting nearby. They looked at each other and then quickly found cover behind the wall of a small alley. They could see the street through the damaged wall. Not long after, an army equipped with steel armor and helmets with white feathers stuck on them arrived. In their hands, spheres of coronavirus were rotating around. Wherever they went, the spheres on their hands spread thousands of tiny little coronaviruses the size of a speck of dust. Those viruses then separated again to smaller sizes which could not be seen by mortal eyes and blended into the atmosphere itself. "It's the White Rider's army," murmured Sam. "Then he must be around," replied Gemma. They looked at each other, knowing exactly what they had to do. They were just about to burst out onto the street when a wooden door across the street suddenly opened, and a drunk man stepped outside. In his hand was a bottle of alcohol he was enjoying. The man was stumbling along the street when the coronavirus collided against him. After a brief second, he fell down to the ground, gasping as his entire body atrophied on the sidewalk. Gemma immediately tossed out the necklace Leon had given her, making a force field that shielded them all inside. They strode out into the street, blocking the marching army. The commander's horse neighed, rearing up and then stopped. The commander squinted his eyes at the young, fearless sorcerers blocking his path. Then he laughed loudly, mocking them. The commander drew his sword, pointed it up at the sky. His left hand pulled the horse's reins. His horse stood up on its hind legs and neighed. Combined with the horse's neighing, the army roared, shaking the whole street. The commander targeted his sword towards the three and yelled, "Attack!" The army launched a hail of coronaviruses directly at the team. Gemma held her hands up high, strengthening the holy force field. Sam pushed out her bell with both hands. The bell expanded hundreds of times bigger than its original size. Sam controlled the bell and used its power to suck the coronaviruses inside. Seeing their most powerful and precious viruses get sucked into the bell, the soldiers were terrified of its power.
Subscribe now to My Novels to enjoy a journey of the best mystical, magical, and mysterious stories.